Hi guys, I'm General Chaos and I'm trying my hardest to get back into the swing of making the content that I would usually upload. So it's not usually the kind of video that I would upload, even though you can see me kind of drawing on my iPad. I just thought I'd kind of put something up there, you know, just to kind of show you what I do, you know, like in between making videos and my real life job and, you know, just stuff like that. So I just thought I'd put something up to show you that I'm still drawing from time to time, because I love drawing, I really do. I'm trying my hardest to get back into making those trying to draw videos, because I know a lot of people are subscribed to my channel for that. It's actually kind of a long story, like what happened over the past couple of months or so. I think it was like a couple of days after I made that trying to draw the Evil Emperor Zurg video, and I went for a walk after work with my brother and I ended up slipping in the street, and basically I put my hand out to try and stop myself from falling and ended up breaking my elbow. So yeah, I was actually off work for 6 weeks because of that. I ended up with a pot on my arm, very limited movement, and basically there wasn't a great deal I could do. It was sad in a way, because I'd actually started going to a gym that's not necessarily in my area, but it's not that far away. Like, I could easily get to it by car, and I did actually feel a benefit, like mental health wise, going to this gym. And very recently, sorry about that, I had actually started going to airsoft with my brother. You know, we're just trying to do more outside the house. Nowadays I'm just trying to like keep my mind occupied, because I don't know, it's like when you kind of have dreams, you know, like you always wanted to do that job that you always wanted ever since you were a kid, and then it slowly starts to dawn on you in your 20s and even 30s that maybe, you know, there's only a select few people that actually get to do the kind of job that you were hoping to do. Like, it's not necessarily about what you know. Sometimes it's more who you know. And yeah, it's kind of sad, you know, the kind of world we're living in. I'm not trying to sound like one of those people that just expects everything to be handed on a silver platter, because yeah, you've still got to work for things, but you know, it's like sometimes even hard work just doesn't cut it. You know, it's like you try and put yourself out there. Like, I've got a DeviantArt where I'm showing off what I'm drawing, and I'm trying to get that project out. Don't know if any of you remember that that trailer that I did for an animation called Psychologically Troubled. I was actually kind of hoping for that to be like a live action program, but I think I'm just going to try and get it out there in some kind of form. That's why I started animating it instead. Because I don't think I see myself being in like a director's seat at this point in time. So that, you know, I haven't given up. I definitely haven't given up, or else I would have shelved the project entirely. But, you know, it's just getting it out there in some form. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I do get burnt out when animating, or just I get burnout from basically anything, really. It's kind of sad, really. And that's why chasing the very thing that you were hoping to become becomes really hard, because you just succumb to burnout. Like, maybe the process isn't as is more complicated than you anticipated it. Like, I'm using Flipperclip to do the animations, and you can't copy layers. You can't like copy and paste layers, or you can't duplicate layers. Like that one layer that you were wanting to have on like a previous or a future layer. No, you've got to like hope that you've redrawn it just as well as you did last time, and with me that doesn't always seem to be the case. So it's like, you know, I don't know, really. I don't know. I'm glad I stayed with the drawing thing, because it kind of sucked, really, leaving secondary school with, what was it, like an E or a D in arts, and it's like, you get put into your head that you're actually pretty good at arts, you like, from your peers and your family, and then your art teacher comes along, someone who you learnt to tolerate or learnt to like, and he comes along and gives you an E on your art, and it's like, it's kind of damaging in a way. But that's the thing with school that I ended up learning. It's like a literal textbook facility, if you like, you know, you've almost got to appease the rules of the teachers, because it's like a lot of what you learn in school doesn't end up being relevant in the real world anyway. So I just wished I'd learnt that a bit sooner. You know, it's so I think it's one of the reasons why I maybe wouldn't have ended up in like a bit of a dark place, but mentally. But I'm fine now. I am alright now. You know, not to like toot my own horn or anything or sound really arrogant, but I am actually really happy with how a lot of this came out. If you're wondering what it is I was doing here, it was when I'm not working on like Psychologically Troubled or anything else. It's this idea for like a platformer that was to like parody the genre, and what you're basically seeing here is just like concept art, and that's why I try to do a lot of the concept art and stuff like that, because it's like I ended up with a bit of a revelation, because I still, for the life of me, don't know how C++ or just any form of coding actually works. Like, I can't, my brain just rejects the concepts of like coding and stuff. And so one day my mum came up to me and was like, maybe you've been approaching this wrong. Maybe it was more the concept art area of like video games that you always liked, rather than the actual coding. And I think it actually kind of makes sense in a way. So yeah, I've just been doing like concept art things, you know, and you know, like just like trying to come up with my own game mechanics as well, and like Microsoft Excel, like a list of like categories for things like items, apparel, and enemy types and stuff, just to give me like a good idea. You know, in the future I might do another one of these where it's just me casually drawing stuff in like Adobe Fresco, because there are other projects like this that I've got. Like there's one folder called Tom and Jerry RPG. It's kind of like, I was hoping for something like in the style of Looney Tunes World of Mayhem, because the thing with Tom and Jerry is I'm actually kind of surprised no one did a turn-based RPG on Tom and Jerry, because it's like, I always thought Tom and Jerry would translate very well into a turn-based RPG, because it's like the Looney Tunes did. Christ, how long has it taken Looney Tunes to do a turn-based RPG? And I just think World of Mayhem works so well. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are loads of downsides to playing World of Mayhem. You know, there's the microtransactions, there's the events that are very stingy with, you know, like the in-game items that you need in order to progress in the events and stuff like that. And it's just, it's not that. But whatever, I just think, like I said, I just think Tom and Jerry could work as a turn-based RPG, you know, it's just my opinion. There's also the other folder as well, the Crash Twinsanity ARG. Yeah, believe it or not, I have actually kept all the assets, or some of them, for, you know, when I made those series of videos. I bet some of you were like watching that thinking, what the fuck am I subscribing to? You know, like, because I will admit that the Dossier.raw tapes did come out like without any warning at all. Like, it was actually around the time when I'd broken my elbow and I was like bound to like a sling on my left arm. You know, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do something just to like occupy my time. And so that was when I started making the Crash Twinsanity Analog Horror, the Dossier.raw tapes. And I am actually, again, I don't mean to pat myself on the back or anything, but like, I'm actually really happy with how that project came out. Like, maybe there were some things I could have done a bit differently. I was talking to Jill of Trades, also known as Morona Possessed, on Twitter, and I think one of the only complaints that she had with that was the VHS filters were a bit too much in places, like especially like the later videos. And I know exactly what she means. Uka.exe and heatdeath.exe. I put these, I don't even know what the name of the filter is, but basically what was happening was the player was getting crashed to Uka. It was like the final, parts of the like the game. Like, Crash had already escaped from Insanity Island, and Aku Aku was angry about it, and it was all kind of leading up to how the Analog Horror ends. That's why I used that VHS filter so aggressively on those last two videos. Like, it was all supposed to show that the game was actually starting to fall apart. You know, it was all build up, but looking back on it now, I feel like I could have maybe communicated that a bit better to the audience, you know. Like, maybe I could have used a better effect. I definitely could have used a better effect. I just didn't know what else to do at the time, but you know. But yeah, I also respect, I can't remember that person's name, but they said they thought I was pushing it a bit with the like the VHS counter, you know, like showing you the time and the date and everything, and you know, like what VHS players used to do back in the day. And in my defense, I did actually like try and research, you know, the time when people had stopped using VHS players, but I do also agree with what that person was saying as well, because, you know, people were actually, they had actually moved on to DVD players around that time as well. Like DVD players were probably not all that expensive. I say that, and I grew up at the time when people were moving on from VHS players and moving on to DVD players, but, you know, I don't know, I just remember them being really expensive at the time, which is why that transition to digital was a bit slow, but whatever. Anyway, I completely agree with everyone's cons about the series. I did get some comments from people, like, you know, where they were just saying things like, I don't get it and stuff like that, and I can kind of understand those people as well. I don't know if they were subscribed to me or not, but, you know, it was like, I mean, the project did, like I said, the project did come out of nowhere without any warning, so I just put it down to that. I mean, the response I've gotten from people is like really positive as well. Like I went and put loads of links to the dossier.raw tapes, like on Discord. There was a Crash Bandicoot Discord where I was able to promote it and everything, and I think I even put it on like Reddit a couple of times, and for the most part I have gotten really good reception. Like, a lot of people do seem to really like it, and I think there's only like, I think the worst I've gotten was like 4 dislikes on twinsanity.exe, but compared to like the 16 likes that I've gotten at the moment, like that's incredible. Like, I'd be lucky if I got like 1 or 2 likes, you know? So that is actually like really good for me. But yeah, I think we've got about 5 or so minutes left of this video. You probably noticed in the background that, yeah, I was watching the Buddhism Hotline when I was doing this video last night. More specifically, what you're watching is it was a live stream back from 2015. It was like, I think it was like the 2nd or 3rd live stream that Jonathan Hills had done, and he'd brought Dr. Gregory Peck's Fid on to do some like live paintings or drawings and stuff, and it is actually a good stream. It was back when people were using the hard R. You know, people who call in nowadays, Jonathan doesn't really let people like use the hard R as much now, but, you know, it's understandable, you know. Oh yeah, I didn't click off the video in time, so the next video played. It was the next video you were about to see then for a couple of seconds was actually a really good one. It was about characters from The Simpsons who had different skin colour. You know, like how Waylon Smithers, when he first showed up on The Simpsons, he was actually black, but then they gave him yellow skin later on, and there's also some really weird instances where people had like the wrong skin colour and everything. I didn't mean for that to sound racist or anything. It's just like, if you go back to the old episodes of The Simpsons, you'll know what I'm talking about, because it's like some people that, you know, they had like, they were black for the longest amount of time, but then they were like yellow for the first couple of episodes they appeared in. And then you've got like instances where people were always like black, but then they had like yellow skin for like a couple of frames or something. Like, it's actually quite funny in a way, you know. I think I've covered everything. I think there's just about 2 minutes of the video left, but I don't know if some of my some of my burnout is because a lot of the time I get kind of tired, and I don't know if that's because I don't know if that's because I stay up. I don't know if that's because I stay up a bit too late. I don't know if I got hiccups or something. Sorry about that. But yeah, I don't know if it's because I stay up too late, maybe a little bit later than I should be. But I don't know. Sometimes I go from a late shift straight into an early shift, and I don't know. So I'm in bed quite a lot, nearly. Like, I'll be lounging in my bedroom. I won't even be sleeping on a lot of weekends, and especially if I've got nothing planned. But it's I'm not gonna start talking about myself like I'm old or anything, because I'm not. I'm 31. I'm still in my prime. I think it's just. You've just got to learn to try and get into a routine of going to bed at a reasonable time. Making sure you get those 8 hours of sleep. And if you need more time to sleep, then go to bed earlier, and learn to catnap or power sleep on the weekends. And you'll feel a lot better, and you'll feel a lot happier in yourself. But yeah, okay, so that pretty much wraps up this video. I think I've covered everything now. So join me in the next video, and hopefully it'll be a trying to draw video, because I really do want to get back into making those kinds of videos. So yeah, I'm General Chaos, and I will see you all later. Take care, everyone.